Anybody here can get it. Treat the game like a scrimmage now. Master B with the flow. I swear nigga got no limits now. I've been ballin' for a minute. Whole team full of winners. Anybody here can get it. You tuned into the realest now. Anybody here can get it. Treat the game like a scrimmage now. Master B with the flow. I swear nigga got no limits now. I've been ballin' for a minute. Whole team full of winners.
Right, hi everyone. Welcome to episode 0 of Off the Platform. I'm your host, Greg Terrell. I'm joined as always. I will be joined as always by my co-hosts, Jackson Hinch. Jackson, how are you?
How you going, fam? All good?
All good, all good. And Hamish Coulter. Hamish, how are you?
Right.
Awesome, man, a few words. Yeah, is that what you're going to say? Okay, Jesus, this is going to be a short episode.
This is, man, a few words.
All right,
Let so... numbers that are talking, mate.
Yeah, they get, wait for that, eh? All right, so I know many people out there are thinking, okay, Greg, absolutely, but who are these other two? So I think we'll do some introductions. So Jackson, you want to kickstart things, and then we can start talking about what this podcast is all about and what we're going to do with it.
Yeah, all right. So yeah, obviously I'm Jackson Hinch. Yeah, I mean I just lift a few weights and it turned out I was all right at powerlifting. And now I'm the technical director of GPC. And currently overall NZ champ. So I got to try and defend the title in 2 weeks. But yeah, I mean powerlifting wise I sort of just fell into it. I just started lifting weights because I watched Dragon Ball Z and all the business, and I was the skinny guy at high school.
How old are you now, mate? You're 20 something, eh?
27, yeah, 27.
27, Jesus.
I got a gym membership for my 16th birthday. So I turned 28 in November, so
nice.
Coming up 12 years.
Mm.
I started lifting 60 kilos, the nerdy kid at high school that did his homework and wanted to get jacked. So this was literally my program. I did barbell bench Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I did dumbbell bench Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday.
I think Hamish is following that program now.
For the muscle confusion.
Confusion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then whenever I did barbell bench, I did dumbbell curls. And
nice.
Dumbbell bench, barbell curls. Just, that's all that matters. 16.
But no calves, eh?
No calves. No, didn't train legs at all. Still don't.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, it shows.
No.
Oh, good.
Just wear baggy shorts.
So, what inspired you? You said Dragon Ball Z. That's probably a bit after my time. But yeah, no, the big weights of the Hollywood world, Arnold's and all that, Rambo. No, didn't inspire you.
No, I had no idea, man. I'm from Greymouth. There's like 10,000 people. We're just, it's its own little world. We had no idea what was going on.
That's peak season, isn't it, in Greymouth?
Yeah, man, that's like peak tourist season. Like that's like New Year's.
That's like 9,000 tourists.
Yeah. So I just started lifting. Had no idea what I was doing. I just got in the gym and watched the big guys and tried to do what they did and hurt some shit along the way. But now we're here.
It's quite interesting because when Greg and I were coming through lifting, internet wasn't even a thing, right? You couldn't go online. You couldn't go onto YouTube. At 16, that would have been back in 2009. There would have been quite a lot of resource available. I do happen to know that you used to use the forum back in the day.
There was a while in.
New Zealand bodybuilding.
I think I'd been lifting for probably a year or two by then.
Oh, you would have known all back then, eh? Yeah, that's typically
NZ bodybuilding, the forum. There was where what was it? Met Sounds Good.
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah, that was. I carried on the online handle of Beast Builder. Yeah. That's been my online handle ever since I've been online, man. Even when I was playing like RPGs and Diablo, just building beasts, and then it just happened to turn into powerlifting.
So did you find that it sort of guided you into powerlifting? I think at that time it was New Zealand bodybuilding, but there was quite a few guys who had sort of transitioned either into strength training or powerlifting itself. Did you think that sort of swayed you from the bodybuilding into powerlifting?
I think by the time I actually got on the forum, I'd already done my first comp. I did my first comp in April 2011, Canterbury Champs at Eastside. No, I was pretty much just in the gym one day, and some guys said to me, "Oh, what are you benching?" I think I was benching like 120 or something. I thought I was the man, and I was only like 75 kilos or something. So like it was all right back then, 75 kilo guy benching 120 at 17, might have been 18. But and they said, "Oh, have you had a bash at this powerlifting thing? You should give it a go." And I was like, oh, but then what's that? I've got to start training legs. I'm not really interested in that. And then I found, got hooked up with the guys at Eastside. It's which is basically now Body Core in Christchurch. But I got hooked up with a few of the guys at Eastside, and then within 3 months I was in the. I started going there just before the earthquakes, so they were one of the few gyms that didn't close down after the earthquakes. And then within about 3 months, I was in my first comp. Totaled 500.
Nice.
So that was Jamie, obviously Craig. What else is in that
that was back when Jamie Thompson was just a basketballer, and that was Craig. Craig was in his prime. He was aiming to go to Raw Unity. That was back in those days.
Jeez, that's a while back, eh?
That was before they had any division between equipped or raw. So you just lifted whatever and you got put in the same category.
Yeah.
So I did my first comp raw, and I think I got 170 squat, 120 bench, and a 210 deadlift, about 90 kilos.
Can you think of any names back then that stood out to you that were inspirational?
Oh, dude, that first comp, I remember the two biggest guys was Steve Lucich was there.
Oh, yep.
That was in his heyday. Steve Varga.
Yep.
He was there from down south. And the late Keith Old.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
Keith.
Those three were like the big dogs.
Was it like 2011?
That was 2011, yeah. That was started 2011. That was
back then. Steve Varga was lifting just under 900.
They were all
worlds kicking ass.
Yeah, they were all 800 to 900, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
I was sitting there and I was watching these guys and just, I rocked in thinking I was hot shit, benching 120, and then these guys are loading up 240, 250, and I was like, oh, all right, I got some work to do,
It's quite a humbling experience, because obviously 100 in a commercial gym for a bench is, it's a
huge,
thing.
Man.
Yeah,
I was the man.
Yeah, we just kind of take it for granted today. We sort of, we're doing that for warm-up sets, even double that, still one of our top sets. But most guys, even who go to the gym, which only makes about 15% of people, huge.
Actually, one of the guys I got hooked up with back then was Leighton Best. He doesn't compete anymore.
No, no,
but he benched. I think his best was like best part of 260. I think he did 250 in comp. He did 250 at obviously in a single ply shirt, but at 90 kilos.
Yeah,
and
he had a biggest
raw
triceps
I've ever
too.
seen. Yeah, he had a big raw bench. Yeah, he benched 170, 180. So
I think it was close to 200. It was double body weight. I remember.
Yeah, double body weight. Which that's unheard of back then, man. Like
even now,
even now it's not common, but back then it was that was mind blowing. So
I think from memory I competed against Leighton once. The name sounds really familiar.
Yeah.
But I was also doing a quick bench back then too. So I'm pretty sure he was in the same comp, or he was around the same time anyway. I don't know if you were in the same
you guys definitely would have done nationals and stuff together.
Yeah, 2011, 2012, give or take.
Yep.
Yeah,
so they were the big dogs back then.
He has big arms, dude.
Yeah, man. He had the biggest triceps I've ever seen. Still some of the most impressive triceps I've ever seen. They just hung over his elbow. Yeah. Madness. And then,
so fast forward a couple of years, and did you carry on with powerlifting, or did you take a break, or what'd you do?
Dude, I dove head first. I think in my first year I did 4 comps. I did April, June, I did nationals that year, and I did the end of the year in December. So I did 4 comps just back to back.
Nice.
But every comp it was UPB.
Pretty
right?
much.
Just
pretty
gains.
I think for the one in June, South Islands, I tried a squat suit and was too much of a pussy, and then took it off and then just lifted raw. So, but yeah, it was pretty much PBs the whole time, just because I was in a newer environment, training around all these guys stronger than me, just eating. That was when I really figured out how to eat, actually, to be fair. Not, just not eat like a bird. Everyone says, I eat enough, but that was when I really figured that out and started training properly.
So were you following any templates, or someone doing your programming for you?
Dude, that was when, so one of my best mates, Chris Lord, that was when we started training together. We did the same comp, and I think he totaled 490 and I totaled 500. So he wanted to train with the big dog, you know.
Fair enough. Yeah. That's a lifetime of effort there. The extra 10 kilos. So.
Made that 10 kilos, you know.
Yeah.
But so then we started training together after that, and we found 531 online, the old Jim Wendler 531.
Can't go wrong with 531, eh?
Mate, we did some disgusting sets. Like, there was no technique. It was just, you put in your numbers. And I think on the 5 week at one stage, I got up to like doing sets of 15 on deadlift. I think I did 215.
Ouch.
At one stage. And there was no technique. I was just ripping that off the floor.
Yeah. Get away with it. You can get away with it. What were you by then? Still early 20s then?
Oh, that would have been, when I was 19, 20.
Oh.
You know, so you can get away with it. I was just eating. I think.
Was that when you were living in Dargaville? No. Sorry, in joke.
Oh yeah, can't bring that out yet, mate. No, yeah, we did some ridiculous sets, man. It was gross. But it was just how we trained. It was just it sort of taught us how to actually just push the boundaries. You know, everyone reckons that they train close to failure or whatever, but we actually did. You know, I'd lost count of the amount of the squats I've just got to the pins and couldn't get up.
Yeah.
You know, like everyone's like, oh, I was 2 reps away from failing and the bar's still moving the same speed. It's like, no, you're still a good 8 reps away, mate. Like,
that's I must say, over all the years I've been training, it's pretty rare to find someone that will get pinned on squat, like will go to that extent in which that last rep is not going to go back up again. You know, still a lot of fear when it comes to squatting. People will stop short.
Bro, we were just young and dumb, full of confidence. Every week you progressed.
I'm glad you ended that with full of confidence.
Yeah, you just yeah. No. Oh, we're keeping this PG, aren't we?
Give or take, yeah. I don't know. Hamish's mum's watching.
Probably the only fan.
This is not going well. All right.
But yeah. Anyway, so we did 531, and then that was sort of we were just trying to catch up to the big dogs, you know. So we competed all through 2011, 2012, 2013.
So 3 years of competing IPF.
Yeah, man, we just hammed it. We did basically jump to any comp that was there, any comp that was around Christchurch. Did nationals all 3 of those years. I think after those 3 years, I'd done 12 comps, 13 comps. You know, it was just mad. We just did what we wanted. No injuries. No, I don't know how we made it through with no injuries, but you just do it. And then, end of 2013. I did the nationals, didn't have the best comp. That was a rough one. I competed in the under 120s at 106. The next weight class down was 105, so I competed at 106. I still won, but just didn't hit any of the numbers. You know, I pulled 270 for a triple in the gym, and then I think on the day I pulled like 280, and that was hard. So I just had a rough deload week. My fitness, I tried a new peaking thing and it just didn't work. I remember that prep pretty well. That was rough. And then, a few dramas along the way, but I pretty much wanted to do Commonwealths and Oceanias that year. Someone else got put in the team ahead of me, even though I won. So I was pissed. So I just said, nah, stuff it. I'm done powerlifting.
So that's the end of 2013, eh?
That was the end of 2013, yeah. And I just said, stuff it. So I was just training with the lads. There was me, Chris, Craig, Jamie. We were just smashing tin, just doing whatever. So we just carried on training. 2014, I just didn't compete. Just trained through. I think I cut down for probably, I went and did the old bro thing and got shredded for R&B. Shredded and jacked and tan for R&B. You know how it is.
It's got to be done. Rite of passage.
Had to be done, man.
Yeah.
And
Hamish
then Hamish is still trying.
Yeah. You got to say, it looks pretty good at the moment. Look at that. Yeah. Shoulders.
And then came back.
One of them.
Came back, started 2014, and just went on like a disgusting bulk. And just got jacked and just gym bro strong. You know, I think a couple of these were like a few of the squat sessions where I threw up every week. We literally would do a max out at 260 for reps. whatever we could do, Jamie always beat me. So I'd always go first and just ham it, and then drop a plate off, ham it at 220, drop a plate off, ham it at 180, all the way down to the bar. You end up doing, whatever, 60 reps all up, 70 reps all up. It's pretty gross.
Do you find you're getting strong, or big?
I got pretty strong then, but again, there was still no thought for technical stuff. We were just lifting, so it was just gym bro strong. There was no technical aspect, no programming aspect. We were just training. I think I benched 180, for a couple back then. Again, I think I was close grip and flat backed and ass off the bench and just doing whatever. And then I went through like a little bodybuilding thing and dieted down. I think I got on the calipers. It's not obviously not accurate, but I got down to like 8.5% on the calipers, just over 100 kilos.
Nice.
I thought I looked pretty good. I was pretty happy, and then obviously, found out, because I think GPC started sort of end of 2013-ish, but it hadn't
2014. January.
Yeah, so it hadn't really come down south yet, so we didn't really know what was the haps. But end of 2014, we sort of heard about it, and I was like, oh, well, I suppose we're all still pretty strong. Should we have a bash? And I think I got in touch with I think it was Hamish or Court at the time, and then organised about having a comp down here. And from then, so 2015, we held our first GPC comp in Christchurch. It was at Portside Barbell, which is no more, unfortunately. But it was just a garage gym in Littleton. But it's still one of the funnest comps I've ever done. It was mint.
What did you enjoy? What did you enjoy about it?
It was just the first. Well, I mean, it was just one of the first comps I'd been to, where everyone just had a good time. It didn't matter if you missed lifts or whatever, like everyone was just there having a good time. No one knew each other. Obviously, it was my first time meeting Hamish and Court and Dean, and so it was a good few groups coming together. And we all.
You don't know how much actually went wrong behind the scenes there.
No, mate, I had no idea. I had no idea.
Yeah. If you ask Court, what was the worst comp we've ever held, I should say that one.
Portside.
But I liked it because we didn't have everything. We didn't have microphones, so I just had
dude, we had nothing.
We didn't have red lights or anything, so we just had to go in the warehouse and get some red cardboard and some white cardboard. I think it might have just been brown cardboard.
Dude, that was like, I mean, I remember that the squat rack that we squatted on was like one of those ones that you get like a City Fitness with like the angled thing and the hooks. So the spotters had to change the height each time. And then we didn't have calibrated plates. We had like the old York plates, like it was, from the standard of comps that we've done now and the standard of comps I've been to, it was shit. It was horrendous. Like, it shouldn't have been a comp, but it was great, And that was when, we just started, and it was GPC for me, man. That was it. That was the turning point.
Nice. So that was 2015, eh?
Start of 2015. I think it was April, maybe, probably April, March.
Yep.
It was cold.
It was, classic Christchurch. But good times, man. Enjoyed it.
I think we even had an earthquake during the comp, and I was shitting my pants, eh?
Yeah. And all the Christchurch people are just like, oh yeah, we just hits, man. And
someone was like, oh, it was only
running for cover.
Only a 4.2. We were shitting our pants.
Can I add that to my total? Like, But Steve Varga was actually at that comp as well, because I think he had left IPF by that stage as well. So that was, there was me, Jamie, there was Big Jamie, Little Jamie, Chris, Steve Varga. Nuria actually brought like a lot of girls who had come from a bodybuilding background to have a go at that comp. So it was a good squad, man. There was a lot of people. It was just people having fun, lifting some weights, doing whatever. Everyone went out for dinner the night after, like it was just good times. And so that was when we all sort of knew, right, this is us. So then I think we brought a decent squad up to nationals that year, which was at
I
Miata.
think at that qualifier, if I remember correctly, you went 9 of 9, 700 on the dot, effortlessly.
Yeah, so that comp was my first attempt at dropping weight, because it was my first go with a 24-hour weigh-in. And also it was my first comp. I was getting coached by Thomas Lilly at the time. So he's friends with Chris from ages ago. And so then he's actually from Christchurch. And so we sort of...
Thomas.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we actually... he went to school with Chris's brother, I think. And so we actually sort of... he came over for a holiday and then came and trained with me and Chris. And he was like... I said to him, "Oh, dude, I'm going to look at getting back into powerlifting. I've just been lifting. I've got no idea really what technical wise, I think I'm pretty strong, but I can always do better." And we sort of had a yarn, and he's like, "Yeah, bro, let's have a bash." I was actually his first online client. He'd only ever coached people in person. So I was his first online client. And it was really good. So we just did video feedback every week. He sent me a program. I remember the off-season program for that was 3 sets of 20 on squat. That was got the old cardio up. That was pretty gross.
Ouch. That's like 3 weeks for me.
Yeah. But yeah, so that comp was my first comp with him. And I'd said to him, "Bro, this is my aim. I can do this." And my aim that year was to go 775 at under 100. Because on there was a list somewhere of what like the elite totals were, and then class 1, class 2, etc. And that was the elite total for under 100. And back then there wasn't that many people doing those sorts of numbers at that body weight. So I was like, "Look, I want to do this." And he sort of said to me, "Right, what's your best total?" And it was 680. And he said, "Right, well, let's not be stupid. Let's work on cracking 700 first." And in my head, I'd already done that in the gym. But he's like, "No, it's different on game day, etc., make him wait." So I was a good boy, followed the plan. I think I went 707.5. And yeah, like Hamish said, they were just easy lifts. I think I dropped maybe 5 kilos or so to get under 100, and then lifted at 106 or something. Put it all back on. And so that was the first sort of trial with a 24-hour weigh-in. And then Thomas was like, "Sweet, happy, all good." And then we rocked up for nationals, and I sort of pushed the boat a wee bit. Again, went 9 for 9 that day. I dropped 11 kilos for weigh-in. Dropped 11 or 10.5 kilos in 4 days.
Jeez.
To make weight. So I was 110 on the Monday, weighed in at 99.5 on the Friday. And then on the Saturday, I jumped back on the scales for lols, and I was 111.5. So I put on 12 kilos in 24 hours.
Nice.
And then 9 for 9. I got the 775. I squatted 277.5, benched 182.5, and deadlifted 315. And then Hamish said to me afterwards, he's like, "You were pretty lucky to get that 315, mate." And I was like, "Oh, why is that?" And it was because, so you're supposed to put a deadlift down under control. But at the top of that 315, I still watch the video, and I just ham it down into the ground. I actually push it. I spit it up into the ground, and he's like, "That wasn't control." I was like, "No, I spit it up.
Ooh.
I jammed it into the ground, man. I was so stoked."
Proving a point there,
I
right?
don't even remember saying that. Sorry, but I mean, it's true.
But
Who was reffing on the day?
Oh, it would have been Hamish. Were you?
I won that fucking comp. What?
Oh,
Obviously not Hamish.
back in the heyday, eh?
Hey, yeah.
Probably would have been Court, maybe. Court, Dean.
Probably Court and Dean. No, Dean lifted at that comp, bro. He had rainbow socks. I remember that. That was when he had the long Jesus here.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
He was properly powerlifting Jesus.
Yeah.
No, I can't. It would have been. You were probably reffing it, Greg.
No, I didn't do that. I didn't make that one, eh? Did I? No, I don't think I ever did the Christchurch comp. No, I
No,
just
no,
wondering.
the 2015 Nationals.
Should we overturn it based on what he just said?
Well, I'm just wondering. It sounds a bit dubious now.
It's
I'm
dubious,
Is
yeah.
there like a 5-year limitation?
I think we need to review some of that video footage.
I think it's
so,
3 years.
3 years.
I'm gonna put it in the rule book.
Is it?
Yeah, change it now.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in the rule book. Only a 3-year overturn.
Oh, so this is up here in Miata Gym, eh? It was out in Avondale, Auckland, eh?
Yeah, man, that was sick.
Good. Nice.
Yeah, that was a legit comp. That was when Odell lifted as well.
Oh, they want the same comp.
Oh,
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That was his first when he came back from that bicep rupture and pulled 400 again with the same grip. Absolute savage.
Yeah.
Absolute savage.
We'll have to get Odell on this podcast eventually too.
Dude, he's such a nice guy, man. He'll jump at it. He still comments on my stuff on Facebook and Instagram and stuff. So I met him at that comp, and then I went over and did Pro Raw 7 and Pro Raw 8, and he still remembered me. Happy to have a yarn.
Skip past those comps.
Oh, yeah. How was Pro Raw 8 for you, Hamish?
I can't remember. It was a long time ago.
The red lights probably just wiped your memory a wee bit. It's like the thing on Men in Black.
No.
Yeah, I took the Red Bull.
All right. So he did a stint in the UK for a bit too, eh?
Yeah, man. Yes, actually, after Pro Raw 8, we flew out like the week after. Me and the Mrs. Tash, now my wife, obviously, happily married. But yeah, she convinced me to go over to the UK. It was more of a, all right, well, I'm going, so it's your choice. And I was like, all right,
tough call.
That's it. Yeah, I had no, that's it. And put the foot down. That's it.
It's got to be done.
So yeah, we went over to the UK. Great times. I wasn't even going to compete. I was actually just like, stuff it, all good. I've done my thing. Done Pro Raw. I was happy. Wasn't even going to compete. And then that was 2016. And then I get a message from, it would have been, I think it was Steve Hampton and Court. And they basically said, oh, okay, well, Worlds is in Serbia that year. Did you want to do it? And this is, I think, probably 3 months before. And I'm just training. I was actually leaner then than I ever got in New Zealand. So I was doing cardio, man. I was doing like air bike sprints and L-sit, doing some gymnastic stuff. I wasn't even training for powerlifting. And I was like, oh. So I sort of said to Tash, how would you feel about me, prepping for another comp? Because I can be a prick when I'm prepping for comps, man. It's for that 12 weeks. For that 12 weeks, that's it. You know what I mean? That's the priority. I'm getting my sleep. I'm getting my food. I'm not missing training. So like, and she said, well, yeah, but we're over here to travel. So as long as it doesn't affect that, you're okay. And so I said, right. So I signed on the dotted line. And then ended up in Serbia. Hamish came over for that comp. That was great. We flew into Bulgaria. So it was in southern Serbia. And we flew into Bulgaria instead of, I can't remember what the capital of Serbia is, but it's up north. So we flew into Bulgaria because it was quicker to just cross the border. And we said to the rental car guy, right, we'll have no issues getting into Serbia, right? He's like, no, you'll be good. You'll be good. The GPS will work once across the border. Yeah, all good. Don't worry about it. So we go in and we pick up this rental car, and it's like a scene from like, Resident Evil, man. We like walk into this old warehouse. There's a flickering light. There's like a dog barking. There's like a gate swinging.
The ceiling had caved in at one point.
Yeah, that's it. The ceiling had caved in. It was like, like Medal of Honor when you go into like the deserted warehouses and stuff. It was like that. And then we get given the keys to this Ford car, and it was like a 1 liter, like, I don't know. We probably, between the two of us, we could have picked it up, and so we ended up going to Serbia, and we cross the border. The GPS turns off. We get to the border of Serbia, and it's like militarized. There's guys with guns pointing at us, like, what are you doing here? None of them speak English. And so we had to find one that spoke English, and they've all got guns pointed at us, and we're like, oh, well, we're just here to lift some weights, like.
No, we remember we stopped, and we need to go for a piss. And we thought we were in the middle of nowhere, so we pull into this little lay-by.
Right.
And we all jump out and we go for a piss. And we jumped back in the car. We were driven literally about 20 meters. And then there's a full camouflaged army stop with all these guys there standing there with their guns. They're like, what you doing?
Good, man.
Like,
So good.
we were just going for it. And I wanted to know who we are, see our passports, why are we in the country? And we had to pull out. I pulled out a newspaper article to show that the powerlifting champions. And he was like, how much are you going to squat? And I was like, 800 pounds. And he's like, everyone's like, oh, 800 pounds, 800 pounds. Yeah, you go. And so we left. And then the next day, we went out for a bit of a tiki tour in the car with Thomas. And we sort of didn't know where we were going. We didn't have our passports or anything on us. And we go out of town inadvertently. And then we run into another police checkpoint. And we're like, oh my God, what's happening here? And they're barking at us in Serbian or whatever language they were speaking. And passports. Oh, we don't have any. And they go over and talk to the sergeant. And he comes over to the car. He looks in and he's like, hey, it's Mr. 800 pounds.
So good.
So we could go, yeah. But, it was experience. Like we don't have anything like that over here. All the buildings had been blown apart. Lots of missing people because it just finished their civil war. It was just an amazing place to go. These places you experience in these international competitions are probably one of the things that you don't realize are so beautiful about the sport.
Yeah,
we'd never go to somewhere like that, you know. You can leave your car unlocked because there's no theft in places like that, in places like Serbia, because they're worried about their families have died. They're worried about having, much bigger issues than disrespecting a tourist and stealing their wallet. It's just a different mindset.
Yeah, man.
So, yeah.
Like, I remember we took way too much money. Like, I didn't realize how cheap it was going to be in Serbia. It's ridiculous. Yeah. It's like the Thailand of Europe. Like, I took over euros, and they didn't take euros. They have their own currency, the dinar or something like that. And they, so I got all my euros changed over, and it was like we got like a round of, I think, 10 beers, and it was, like €1 was 130 dinars. And a round of 10 beers was like 500 dinars. So it was like €4.
Wow. And
then so I was like, well, I just had these, I had a note that was like 10,000, and I was like, oh, I'll just take this. I just wanted to get rid of it. And they were like, no, they can't take it, can't take that bigger tip or whatever else. So I just ended up giving out money because there was no point in me taking it back. The banks didn't want it back in London. So it's crazy how little they had, but it was definitely a cool experience.
And what sort of results did you get from that?
Oh, horrendous shit.
Yeah.
Missed weight.
Sorry, what was it again? Yeah.
I'd gotten bigger and leaner, and then I tried to make the under 100s again. And I think I missed by a couple of kilos, but mate, that was rough, that comp, man.
So you decided to do the 110s, and so you went back in for weigh-in, thinking that you'd still be under 110.
And
you were like, you almost missed the next class.
Yeah, I was like 109.95. I hadn't drunk anything or eaten much. Like, I was trying to hold my weight down because I knew that if I rebounded back up, I'd miss weight again. So
how jacked did we look though, eh?
Oh, dude, there's that old photo I found just the other day.
Yeah.
I love that. We looked like, and I was best part of 120 by then, man. That was ridiculous. My hands were so bloated though, I couldn't hold a deadlift. Remember that almost bombed.
Yeah.
I mean, that deadlift bar sucked, and I'm sure
that platform you were sinking.
Yeah, I bled on that platform so bad. Like, and they said, no, you can't put a tissue in your nose. So I was
that was the only competition that I've out deadlifted you, is it?
Yeah, probably. Actually, it would be. Yeah. I'm damn sure someone was that you that put the baby powder in the chalk. I bet it was.
Yeah, probably.
Bet it was.
Don't put it past me.
But yeah, man, I almost bombed. That was like I had to pull 300 3 times. And I pulled it for a triple in the gym, but my hands were just swollen. I couldn't hold anything. I'd put on like 15 kilos in 2 days. I don't know, man. The hotel ran out of water when I was trying to do Epsom salt baths. Took too much Lasix. I stopped peeing. Like, it was just, it was bad, man. And then I ended up getting food poisoning as well. Hamish had to share a room with me. He'll remember that. That was man. There was no sleep that night.
Smells.
There was no sleep that night. Jesus.
Nasty.
But yeah, nasty. So still won. Still won. But yeah, not. Oh yeah, rough.
So that was 2016,
end of 2016.
2016.
Yeah. And then since that was shocking and I'm too competitive for my own good, I said, stuff it. I'm back into powerlifting full time. I've got to redeem myself after that. So I just went on a bulk again, got jacked. I think the next comp I did was GPC Regionals in London at Genesis. I met
Lee Marshall's gym, is it?
No, Dave Beattie. Actually,
Dave Beattie. Okay.
I'm going to get him on here. I'm going to message him. We need to get him. He's an outstanding personality of the sport.
Nice.
He squatted over 1,000 pounds at 50 years old. Just mad dog. Trained with Andy Bolton back in the day.
Jesus. All right.
But anyway, so Genesis. That's the powerlifting pinnacle of London. Probably actually England, I would say, the UK. Went over for the regionals there. I don't know what they call it. They call it a provincials or a regionals or a qualifier. But did that. Rocked in. As soon as I rocked in, it was like walking into Eastside again. It was just right. I'm going to train here. This is me. And then I actually said to Dave, look, he said to me, he's like, oh, well, I'm looking for a training partner at the moment. And so I said, oh, well, when are you free to train? I do PT. I'm pretty, free like during the middle of the day. He's like, perfect, bro. I'm here. So I used to commute just over an hour each way across London to go and train. So I train clients in the morning.
What was that, 5Ks?
Like 500 meters.
Yeah, you could have walked it in like 10 minutes, but fuck.
Nah, fuck that, bro. Cardio. No, honestly, I walked to the train station. I'd catch the train across, catch the bus, and then walk from the bus stop. It was literally a big commute, man, but it was worthwhile. I wanted to. I came out of that regionals. I got a decent PB. I think I went like 8:45, maybe 8:50, something like that. Finally cracked a 300 squat after squatting 295 3 times in a row.
Mr. 295.
Yeah, I was Mr. 295 for like 2 years.
Thanks, Thomas.
Trained with him. Yeah, thanks, Thomas. Great attempt selection. Correct. And then, so did that regionals, then started training with Dave, trained hard for about 6 months, did worlds in Czech Republic with Steve and Thomas again. And I believe I went 887.5. Yep, because I went 887.5 because I missed a 355 deadlift for 900. And so I got second in our class. Actually, that year our class was stacked. There was a couple of Hungarians. There was a Russian guy that beat Hamish that then I showed who's boss.
Mr. Spitty Pants.
Yeah, that guy. Funny hair. Fuck that guy. Fuck that guy, man. Well, he got fourth. He got fourth.
Nah, no hard feelings.
Water under the bridge,
thank you.
And then, I got second to Delroy McQueen.
Well, that's no loss.
Yeah, I mean that was the thing, man.
Sport. Yeah.
I mean he was the first guy to come out and congratulate me after
you didn't lose.
Yeah, that was the thing, man. Like it was a good comp. That was fun. I actually opened off my openers. I was like, I think 8th. You know what I mean? Like I opened quite light and take big jumps. They all opened real close to their maxes, so they didn't even think I was an issue. And then I opened maybe like a 300 squat, and then I jumped to 325. Whatever, and they were like, oh, but they went like 300, 305, 307. Whatever it was. But yes, that was a good comp. And then about 6 weeks later, 6 or 7, something like that. But I did the British finals, which is their version of nationals. And in that 6 weeks, I just sort of fixed a few technical issues. And I knew what I wanted to hit. My goals going into that comp were to hit a 355 deadlift because that was the biggest raw deadlift in New Zealand at the time, was 352.5 by Dale. And also I wanted to hit a 915 total because the biggest totals raw at the time was Hamish and Jamie.
Thanks for the motivation. I appreciate it.
It's all right, mate. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to deliver. Was 912.5. They'd both done that, and so I said, right, 915 and 355 was my two targets for that. And so that comp, I went 335, 225, and then pulled the 355 and got 915. Again, that was again one of those days where everything just clicked. 9 from 9, good attempt selection.
Don't know.
Good. Hamish wouldn't know anything about that.
Good attempt selection.
But yeah, man, that was just one of those days. I felt literally invincible.
Sorry, is that playing for yours? You're going to edit that out, sorry.
Have you got the NBA? No, you good?
No, Spotify just started playing.
Oh, no, it didn't come through here.
No, it didn't come through, mate. We're all good.
But yeah, that was one of those days, man. It was just everything clicked. That was the end of 2017. And then, came back. And then I think we did NZ Open end of 2018. I came back middle of 2018. We did NZ Open. That was the first year of that. That was great. Nick put on a really good comp. And then...
Shout out to Nick.
Yeah, Nick. That was a solid comp. That was when I first really got to know Nick. And he just loves lifting, man. He just wants everyone to do well. He wants to run good comps. That NZ Open was a good first showing, man. That was cool. There was me, Jamie Marshall, Jamie Thompson. I didn't have the best comp. I think I totaled like 905 or something. I missed a few squats and whatever, but still pulled for the win. Locked in the win. That was the first sort of money meet we've had in New Zealand as well, which is cool. Old Colm Wolf made the swap over to powerlifting then as well. He was the big dog that day. He went 967.5. Pulled 390. Big dude, man. Big dude. I think he's, I don't know, what is he, 6'7", 6'8", and he was like 175k or something, 170k that day with like a flat stomach.
I think I reffed that. Was I there?
You did, yeah. It was you, Jono.
Like my memory, yeah. Yeah, me, Jono, and someone else, wasn't it? Yeah.
But that was a big comp, man. That was fun. That was Brogan was there. At the time there was like a who's who of sort of the lifting scene. It was great. I think Joseph Whitaker was training Colm at that time. Yeah,
he was there.
So he came.
Yep.
That was horrendous though. There was a guy, I can't remember what his name was, but he warmed up too heavy I'll never forget, man. He warmed up in the mono at the back, and he dumped his last warm up, and got his arm caught between the bar and the sling.
Ooh.
And just snapped the shit out of his elbow, eh?
Ouch.
Poor bastard.
Who was that? You don't remember the name,
I can't remember who that was, man, but I just remember standing there talking and then turning around and hearing the scream and the crunch. Man, it was like a gun going off. It was, but good times.
So that was the end of 2018. So
good times other than that.
Yeah.
Well, that's powerlifting.
Not for him.
Yeah. Not for him, man. I don't know. I'll try and I can't remember who it was, but I need to find out if he's still even lifting,
it'd be good to see if he's still lifting, eh?
Yeah.
After, because that's a good topic for one of our podcasts, is people that have come back from, big injuries.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so fast forward. When's your next comp?
Nationals, bro. 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Brilliant.
Keen as fizzy.
Yeah.
Absolutely
what are you aiming for? What's the target?
To win.
To win. There's four. I got four priorities, 4 goals really. Obviously, number one priority is the win. Always does it. Records are cool, but the wins are what count. So number one priority is the win.
Well, no one can take your win away from you, can they?
No, that's it. Exactly.
Records can be broken. Yeah.
Yep. Number 2. So obviously you guys, I don't know if people watching and stuff follow, but there's Open Powerlifting, great database. I love the work that they do. But so
shout out to Open Powerlifting.
Yep. Open Powerlifting are sorting us. They're actually sorting us a custom open lifter for nationals, which is going to be off the chain. But so on their database for 2020, the biggest total for the 125 class in the world is 975. So my number 2 priority really for this next comp is to be the number 125 in the world for this year. So whatever that comes to, if it's
asterisks, COVID.
Oh, hang on now, mate. Sorry, has been.
Yeah.
What's the best 2 lifts? What's the best subtotal for this year, Hamish? Squat and bench only. I don't know if anyone keeps track of that because no one cares.
That's harsh.
Well, let's see who's got the biggest subtotal after Nationals, eh?
All right. Did you just see my bench from today, mate? I did 220 for a triple.
I saw that on the IG. Yeah, 220 for a triple. Looks strong, man.
I don't know. I don't mean to brag, but that's more than Hamish has done at 220. I'm just saying.
Oh, it's because I don't muck around. I got up to 230. So.
Oh, right. Okay.
What's your PB again?
Hey?
What's your PB again?
It's 500 pounds, but I think it's higher than that now.
So
obviously.
Not 600. I've done 600. So.
Equipped.
Wow. Don't need to. I mean, you don't want to use asterisks, so I don't want to use asterisks.
Semantics.
Yeah.
Semantics. The single ply bench shirt is complete semantics. Doesn't help at all.
It doesn't help at all. No.
Doesn't help at all. I know Jackson was wearing a belt and wrist wraps and elbow sleeves.
Might as well be all equipped anyway.
Yeah. Those shirts are just like singlets, you know. Let's keep it warm.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, mate. So we're gonna see 1,000 kilo total out of you maybe next year, then, no?
Oh, this year.
This year?
Yep. That's on the list as well. So yeah, beat the win, number 125 in the world for 2020, 1,000 kilo total, and with the 1,000 kilo total, I'm hoping to pull 400.
Nice.
As well. That'll be 2 firsts in New Zealand, 1,000 kilo total, and also a raw 400 pull.
Well, we've got Adele's 1,000 kilos, but
don't be like that.
Yeah.
It's fair. No, that's fair. All right, second. I'm happy to be second to Odell.
All right, first official, First official. 1,000.
He's got an Australian flag soft seat, so
yeah. But it was a New Zealand comp, so you know.
As a guest lifter.
Yeah, I was going to say he was a guest lifter, basically a novice. Basically a novice.
New Zealand passport, probably. I'll have to ask him. Yeah.
But no, okay, I'll happily take second.
All right.
Happily take second, but yes, hopefully 1,000.
Nice.
Yep.
Right. Thanks, Jackson. That was a good hour, mate. Jesus.
Sorry, fam.
Do a bit of condensing on that one.
Yeah. No, that was all right. That was good. I think people will enjoy that because obviously one of the top lifters in the country. So, you know, we've got a really good background on you now. So let's move to the other relatively unknown guy, Hamish. Hamish, you want to take us through what you're all about?
So my lifting journey started back when I was 14 years old as a basketball player, and not being very tall, as we all know, around about 5'9". I wanted to be able to dunk, so I used to buy the Slam magazines back then, and this is before the internet. And in the back page of the Slam magazine had this program you could buy. It was called Air Alert 2, and you had to send off a money order for credit card details, and they'd send you over this program. And 4 to 6 weeks later, I got this little pamphlet in the mailbox, and it was basically a whole heap of plyometric movements, things like pitter patters, box jumps, step ups. But one of the exercises was squats. My dad had a home gym at the time, so I asked him to show me how to squat, and he loaded up the bar and sort of took a real good liking to it. And my legs just really responded really well to this program. And after 12 weeks, I could in fact dunk with 2 hands, which is pretty impressive.
Not bad, man. 5'9".
At sort of 15, 16 years old, I had these mad hops, and in fact, I did have calf muscles, which was pretty cool. But I didn't have much else. Well, when you're a bit short, it's easier, all that blah, blah, blah. But I had these monstrous calves, these monstrous legs, and pretty much nothing else, just a sort of standard-looking upper body. So I thought, well, I have to do something about this. So I sort of branch out into the bench press, the bro split, but always focused on squats. I'm kind of one of those guys who loves the pain. I don't mind going to failure on squats. I love pushing heavier and heavier. So even as a teenager at school, I was quite well known for my big squats. And,
what did your squat go to in that 12 weeks, Hamish? What did you? Obviously, it was mostly plyometrics, but what were you squatting at 14, 15 then?
It wouldn't have been much. It would have been around sort of 120 to 140.
Oh yeah, but that's pretty crazy for
Considering my bench was only around about sort of 60 or 70 kilos.
Oh, Jesus, you're doing double your bench. Yeah.
Probably about the same now. But yeah, so that sort of made me fall in love with training. And I did the schoolboy rugby, played under 21s, bit of rep stuff. I had a family quite young, 20 years old. So the training sort of went on the wayside in terms of gym training. But I kept up a lot of fitness things. And I used to do middle distance running, believe it or not, 5K running. It's quite competitive there. Indoor rowing, it's on the national circuit, and did quite well there. And I did a bit of a cut to see what it would look like underneath it all. I realised that there was a little bit of shape to me back then. Had a bit of a waist, had a bit of a V-taper.
What happened?
Oh, he's still rounders got a shape.
Life.
Yeah.
I actually teed up a session with Nathan O'Hearn, who was Mr. New Zealand at the time. He lived just up the road from me.
Nice.
And he saw that it had a bit of potential, so he took me to the gym for a few sessions, and I learned so much training with him, and sort of got a bit of a crew together and decided to do my first bodybuilding comp. Would have been way back in 2007. And first year I won novice local title, and second to Mateo, who's now one of the best IBF pro bodybuilders in New Zealand. So again, that's not a big loss. And the following couple of years, I did a few more comps and really loved it. But my wife didn't so much, so had to give away the bodybuilding a little bit. And we moved to Australia, moved to Perth. So all of the bodybuilding stuff sort of went on the back burner for about a week. I sort of turned up to the gym and met Gary Wright, one of Australia's best IFBB pros. And of course, me being me, let's train together. So I started going gung-ho. I did a comp over there. I was a bit undercooked, but still sort of brought around about 110 kilos to stage. But I didn't really like the dieting, especially not over in Perth. It's really hot, and you just kind of eat. So,
Kangaroos.
Kangaroos, yeah. That was on the staple on the diet.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, don't eat kangaroo steak. It's horrible, but kangabang awesome. Like 99% protein. Awesome.
Yep. Super lean.
So I decided to branch out and try something a bit different, and I went and trained at a powerlifting gym over in it's Henry Day's gym, and I met Dan Macri.
Is that the strength pit, eh?
Strength pit, yeah. So I met Dan Macri in my first session there, and that was probably the first time I'd met someone of that sort of stature. He's probably about my height, but he weighed about 220 kilos. This guy was insane. And he was squatting, I think at the time, something like 400 kilos, single ply.
Yeah,
and,
crazy.
He was just come off a junior world champs where he got gold medals and stuff. And Joel McCawhan, he'd just come from gymnastics actually, or something along those lines. He was this amazing, flexible, really strong deadlifter. And they got me into powerlifting, and then consequently the strongman as well. So I dabbled in a couple of sports for the first time there. I hadn't done powerlifting at all, didn't even think to it, because back in New Zealand there was only the NZPF, and it wasn't really something that I'd really been exposed to. So I came back and continued doing bodybuilding in New Zealand for a few years, won a couple of national titles in my class there. And in one of the off seasons, I thought, well, I'll give one of these powerlifting comps a go. So I went up to that Capo meet. I think it's the first time I met you, Greg. Yeah.
Was that 2012, 2013?
I think it was 2013. Yeah, it would have been.
2013. Capo was 2013.
It was the year before we started GPC.
Yeah.
So
2013.
I turned up, and I think I talked a bit of smack on the forums about what I was going to do. I was being realistic. It was like, I want to go 800. It
doesn't sound like you, bro.
No one's ever gone 800 raw in New Zealand. It's just bullshit. There's this bodybuilder who's come over. I think it's about 110 kilos with food in me. So I rock up to this competition and managed to squat. I think it's 310, bench 220 or something, deadlifted 270 or 280.
I remember you doing a comp in, I don't know if you've covered it, Bay of Plenty, or was it around that area? Bay of Plenty, maybe.
Oh, the IPF one that I did.
You did an IPF comp, eh?
My one. I did. There was a warm-up comp a couple of weeks before that, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I tuned up, and I think I went 750 or something.
Was it as a novice?
Yeah, so you only get one novice competition. And I got
Imagine that you're turning up first. You know, you're just trying to have a first bash at powerlifting. You turn up, and this guy turns up.
Yeah, I think there was the guy who represented New Zealand. He was the New Zealand rep in my class. So he had all his handlers and everything. I think I beat him by about 100 kilos. So I turned up and I've got like sunken cheeks and like veins running all through me. And it was like, here's a trophy. See you later.
How good.
Anyway, I did really enjoy that competition. It was cool. But the Capo one for me, it was about people and the atmosphere and the encouragement. Not that I wouldn't have got the IPF, but it really came home for me at this Capo competition. A lot of good people there, and I think I didn't compete. That's right. I got married and had baby, so I had a couple of years off and didn't come back until when we had the GPC formation in 2014. Originally, I was the president, and we just dove into that. It was such a buzz to start our own fed on our own terms, our own rules. I think we had quite a few comps that first year. I think it was about 10 or 12. We were just having, who wants a comp? Who wants a comp? Who wants a comp? Not Christchurch, sorry, not to the next year.
No,
but,
we no love.
But yeah,
Hamish, I've got a 2013 GPC singlet, so I'm just wondering if we started GPC maybe at the end of 2013.
Yeah, I'm sure it was the end of 2013, man, when I was looking back.
Yeah, I've got it's a push-pull singlet. It's a little bit worse for wear now, but 2013 push-pull. So it might have been, maybe started towards the end of maybe around November, December 2013, I want to say.
Yeah, that actually sounds right, because I'm just remembering that it was my 7th wedding anniversary this year. So it would have been 2013.
Was that bench wars, or was that 2014 when you had that outside bench comp at the Mount?
Yeah, that was like epic, January or
2014. That was legit, man.
Yeah, you didn't even come to the after party. That was legit.
Dude, I was fucking just out of high school.
Yeah, probably couldn't even get you. Yeah, probably could have.
I'd barely get it.
So yeah, it must have been 2013. But yeah, so we had the first comps in 2014. I don't think I did the first rounds. Oh no, I did every comp. That's right.
Of course. Start your own fed, bro. You got to win.
Yeah,
so
you got to show the pecking order.
Yeah. I think we started with a bang because we had Alnies come to that first competition.
What do you bench, like 250, 260?
Something along those lines. And it
that
wasn't
was we had to weigh him on 2 scales, eh? Was that the one?
No, we couldn't get a weight for him because we weighed him and I think I said to Geordie, how much did he weigh? He goes 220, and I said on the dot. He goes, I don't know, that's as high as it goes.
He's a monster, eh?
And he's a big dude.
Yeah,
that's a big dude.
He ended up benching 265.5 following year, and then disappeared. So it'd be awesome to see him. You know, the guy is just a beast, unbelievable.
That's the thing. I think there's so much talent out there. All these gym boys.
Yeah, that was the intention of the formation of GPC, was that we could go out to these other sports like bodybuilding and strongman, and hopefully attract a lot of these guys to actually join the powerlifting meets that the barriers that IPF have got in place, which are fair enough. But they could come and do a meet. They could post a total and be part of this amazing sport. That was why we formed GPC New Zealand in the first place. I think maybe a little bit of that has got a little bit lost because we've kind of got our core, and we kind of keep sticking. You know, we're not putting the feelers out as much as we can. You know, guys like Colm should be doing GPC meets instead of New Zealand Open. You know, Matt Ragg, come on, he deadlifted 420 the other day.
Dude, 422.
He needs to be on our platform.
Yeah, man. So, that's a strong dude. That's a strong dude.
I've got some news around that, but yeah, I can tell you about that later offline.
Oh boy.
Oh, okay.
All right. No spoilers on this podcast.
Damn it. We can always edit it out. No.
Yeah. Might have to.
Yeah. So I did most of the meets throughout 2014, 15, 16. As you know, I won overall New Zealand champion all 3 years. And then went over to Serbia. I was winning up to the last lift on deadlifts, and the Russian guy who we love, he pulled his, so he went above me a little bit, and I was pulling for the win. Fortunately, didn't have it. I was gutted at the time, but looking back, silver medal at the World Champs was quite interesting.
Dude,
all of that travel, all of the issues that we faced getting to the comp, still posted a second best total at meet.
The first and only time Hamish has pulled for the win, and he missed.
Yeah, that's usually my thing. Because usually it's quite a light deadlift. So
yeah, whereas he actually had to push it.
That one was, I think it was 335, and I just didn't have it. I thought I would have had it if we were like in New Zealand conditions, I could choose, when I was doing it and blah, blah, blah. But it's so different when you're traveling overseas.
Oh man,
I was feeling uneasy.
I think you travelled 40 hours or something ridiculous.
Yeah,
and you it was ridiculous. It was mad. We'd gone up some goat track in Serbia, almost got lost.
You can't discount those factors, the travel involved.
No, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So that's kind of when powerlifting ended for me, back in 2016. As you can see in my trophy cabinet, I felt like I'd achieved enough, and I had other things to do.
I like how well placed that canvas is.
Jackson, I feel like we've dropped the ball, eh?
Mate, I've got a blank wall behind me.
Oh. I thought it was out of focus. I didn't realise you could see it. So
no, mate, that's yeah.
Yeah.
So he had that there for business meetings, so people ask him.
Lucky your head's so big, you can't see half the trophies.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going there.
He's going to have to take it down soon, though, because he's retired.
Yeah. Maybe.
Well, actually, I think if I look back, it was the right time to sort of give it a break, because at that time I was focusing, what's those 12-week prep, 12-week prep. It's all about lifting. It's all about training. I had a flourishing company at that time that just wasn't given the attention that I needed to.
Yeah, man.
So
I remember.
When lifting went to number 2, and business and family came first.
Yeah,
I went gangbusters with my business. We grew at a dramatic rate. We got the Fast 50 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
And all of the things, at the time, at that point, I was still renting a house and still had a second-hand car and stuff. Within a couple of years of just leaving the sport to the side and focusing on the things that mattered at sort of 30, in my early 30s, I bought a brand new home and a brand new HSV, and all of the things that I had learned, I applied to business, and just that's something I probably just need to get across, that the sport is always going to be there. So me taking a 3 or 4 year hiatus and coming back now was the best thing I could have done, except for obviously the injuries that I'm constantly facing at the moment. But that's my own fault.
I remember
have you got a story around that? I mean, it looks like a bum bag, but
no, it's actually not. It's just a brace that my physio has me wear most days. It's I've got a torn rotator cuff. The supraspinatus has got a calcification build up in it, and it's grating against the tendons in the internal rotation. So every time I kind of go like this, it's like ow, 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 ow. So he does a lot of deep tissue work, just scraping, cupping, everything that makes you cry. He's like, so it's not going to be ready by, was it in 2 weeks' time? So I'm just entering squat only and bench only, because deadlifts just pulls it way out. And so that's my excuse why I'm not doing free lift. But I can still sort of squat, and if I prime it, I can still bench post grip. So I'm kind of hoping that I'll have enough on the day. I don't think we've got a whole heap of entries in those categories, which I'm not going to rate myself against. I'm going to try and subtotal the big boys like Ben and Jackson.
Good luck. Good luck.
Good luck to you, my friend.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. I mean, to be fair, I go into deadlifts. I'm that prick that goes into deadlifts in 10th place and pulls for the win. I'm that guy.
But the comp ends at the subtotal in our comp.
Okay, all right. So you got yourself out of that one.
So Hamish, you're not master yet, eh? Still open?
I just turned 38, so I've still got a couple of years before I hit masters.
Still a couple of years kicking it.
Yeah.
Like this, you're looking at 24 years of lifting here, so it's not really just the age thing. That's why I'm constantly getting niggles and things, but also there's a lot of maturity as well. So I've sort of managed to come back after COVID break, and I had an extended break after that, and I had the hernia surgery and that just before that too. So I had about a year off, and within sort of 4 weeks, I was back up to squatting 320, benching 210. So I think there's still like quite a good window of opportunity for me over the next couple of years to.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I saw a 200 for 10 deadlift there as well, and so he can do 3 lift. He's just avoiding us.
Well, what's the point in turning up and coming from like first or second place down to 10th?
What's the point in doing single lifts, bro?
To win. Sorry, Panda. I know you wanted this.
Oh, he's just coming to break hearts. He's just coming to
so
break
I can
hearts.
say I'm a 2-time New Zealand champion 2020. And even if you win 3 lift, you can only put 1.
He's
it's
that guy.
It's all for the gram.
Okay.
For the
The
gram.
gram bio. The gram bio. Shameless plug at Dr. Quads.
So goals, Hamish. What's the plan, man, in the next few years? What do you want to hit before you can't get on that platform again?
So I want to hit Jackson now. But,
That's nothing new, bro. That's
Yeah.
nothing new, man. It's lucky we live in different cities.
Yeah, maybe not for. I mean, I spend a lot of time in Christchurch for work. We just opened a factory down there, so I'm always on the hunt for Jackson, so I can punch him. No, for a lifting session, and obviously Jackson's new career might lead him up these ways as well. I've always found that finding good training partners has been the key. And actually, my training partners at the moment are quite a bit different than other groups I'm training with. IFBB, sorry, take that up. WBFF Pro, Jake Campus, and a good friend of ours too, who's sort of good strength level to keep us honest. And while I'm helping his technical things, I kind of reflect back on what I'm doing. So we've got the apps up there. We're training bar path, RPE, analysing lifts. Not just taking the videos for the gram, we're actually using it for analysing.
That's a first for you, bro.
Oh, well, you know me. I'm usually just off the cuff, just go on and just smash it out. I've seen your progress. You haven't gone every session, balls to the wall. You've been smart. You've made consistent gains, and I respect that. And I think that's what I need, the approach I should be taking at this point in time, not just smashing out every session.
Is it accurate, Jackson? You don't no longer balls to the wall? Are you're quite conservative now?
I try to be, but sometimes I'm still.
You're not 21 anymore.
No, but I'm still a 27-year-old guy. So occasionally I get the odd dick measuring contest in the gym, But when I do, I pay for it,
Body core,
especially in body core, man. We got some strong dudes, like man. It's a cool environment to train in. I know what Hamish means with the training partners are hard to find. Like,
that's why you've kept the same for 10 years, 15 years.
Man,
that's
honestly, me and Chris started training together in 2011. Yeah. And I think Jamie joined us like end of 2011. That was when we trained.
So he's the new guy.
So he's the new guy, but then he is now the coach's coach. He'll, when I'm trying to be a pussy and pull out of things, he's like, no, mate, sort your shit, get amongst.
Nice.
He's now New Zealand's strongest gym bro. He is actually retired from powerlifting, but I think he's going to come back. He can't. But, he's going to come back.
He was coming second to me for all those years, and now he's coming second to you.
Can't help it.
Well, good for him a bone. You made him retire.
Well, I mean, we just avoid each other, really. When he's in the 110s, I do the 125s. When I went open, he went 125s. Both of us win.
Okay.
We compete every day in the gym, man. It's mad, It's cool though, but yeah. So.
Yeah.
Nice.
So.
All right.
I think it's now time for you to talk a little bit about yourself, Greg.
Yeah, Greg.
Yeah, let me finish off
Greg
with,
Turrell.
Yeah. I know everyone's probably heard my story a million
times.
times.
They probably already know it. Yeah.
They probably already know you. I mean, you're so big on Instagram and Facebook and stuff.
Household name. So
Snapchat, TikTok.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. No, you're not gonna drag me back onto those things again, mate. But all right. So I was in the gym probably similar to Hamish, 14, 15. I actually went down with my my mum to her gym and did aerobics. So that was my introduction. Yeah, exactly. That was my introduction to the gym. And then about for 15, I think I started going by myself. And I think. Just like you guys, I think I looked at the biggest guy in the gym and I went, "Fuck yeah, that's me," and started basically following, just watching him and seeing what he was doing. Did the same, so that was pretty much me all the way through my teens, and then into my 20s, just doing the same thing.
Did they even have telephones back when you were 14 or 15, bro?
No, it was a pigeon, mate. You just sort of...
It was a pigeon, so you had to ask him for his workout routine. He sent it by pigeon.
Exactly, yeah. No, I used to write... It was back of a magazine. You used to write away to address and get a program come through. No, I literally did not have my first program until probably late 20s. So I was just a gym boy, early 20s. I probably gave it away a lot, the gym, probably about, maybe 22 onwards, through to about 28, just by, parties and just living life. And the gym just took a back seat. But I got married around 27, 28, and I just started going back to the gym around then. In fact, I met my wife, Rochelle, in the gym because she was an instructor and a PT. So we met in health and sports in the city when it was up there. And then yeah, just carried on. I was just bodybuilding. I wasn't doing anything specific. There were no goals in mind. It was just, just a bit of fun after work. And then we had a first child in 20.
Don't get this wrong, Greg.
I know, way. I know.
Don't get this wrong. You're in trouble.
I always say 2010, the first child. No, the first one was 2006. So, yeah, Ryland was born 2006, and we moved out of the city, and we moved up north to Whangapara. And so probably for the first couple of years, the gym sort of really took a back seat because Jackson, you were not aware of this yet, Hamish is, but kids really take a lot of time and effort, and I wanted to be there and get home from work. The last thing I wanted to do was go to the gym and just miss out on that time because obviously young kids go to bed early. So the gym just disappeared for a while. And then when he turned about 3 or 4, I started investigating local gyms up in Whangapara. And I thought, okay, this time I think I want something a little bit different. I was used to the commercial thing. I was used to the mirrors and so forth. But my wife, Rochelle, in fact, found it was like it was like an industrial garage. It wasn't very big, probably about 60, 70 square meters, called Coast Barbell. And the first thing I noticed when I walked in was that there were no mirrors. Well, this is intriguing, eh? A lot of racks.
That's pretty rare. That's pretty rare.
Not one mirror. I said, well, how do you know what you look like and how are you doing? So he said, we're not fucking here for that kind of shit, mate. So the guy who owned the place, Damien Clayton, he was an old fisherman. I think he's still a fisherman at the time. But he decided to spend a little bit of money and he bought a gym. He established a gym rather. And so it was my introduction to powerlifting. There was probably about 20 members there. I mean, we didn't know this is 2011. We would download programs. The internet was around there, so we download programs. Well, he would download programs from SHACO, from the internet. There were SHACO programs. And
Classic.
then everyone was doing SHACO for 2.5 hours a day, 3 or 4 days a week.
Yeah.
But fuck me, did we get gains? So the progress happened pretty quickly. Actually, I've missed a bit. My first powerlifting competition was in the early 2000s because I forgot about that. I was at a gym called BTS, which is Frank Bulgaris. So Frank Bulgaris' training systems, I think it used to stand for anyway. So he had a thing called the 1,000 Pound Club. And you could win a cool T-shirt with 1,000 pounds in it, which was a big deal back then.
Is that one lift or?
No, that was a three.
Yeah.
I know back then 1,000 pounds over 3 lifts. That's amazing.
1,000 pound total, and now there's guys just.
I know, dude, 3,000
blown down to the water.
I know. So that was he entered that, and it got the 1,000 pounds, got the T-shirt. So that was my first introduction to powerlifting. That was probably in my that was probably early 20s before I packed it in. But yeah, back up to Coast Barbell. We were just doing SHACO programs and we were just driving ourselves into the ground. I wouldn't go to the gym until Ryland at least was asleep. So I wouldn't get to the gym till about 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. And then I'll get one of those big 500ml monsters or it was a monster back then or whatever I could find down that. And Sponsored athlete, exactly. Yeah, come on,
Steve
guys.
got the T-shirt. Steve got the T-shirt. He's getting
thanks.
the shameless plugs.
Shout out to Monster who are going to see
V for life.
Yeah.
Oh,
get out of here.
Sorry.
Get out of here.
Sugar free. Yeah, boy.
And so I would train from 7:30, 8 o'clock till about 10:30 at night. And then go home and just lie in bed, just buzzing till about 1 in the morning until I could actually get some sleep. But no, the progress happened pretty quickly. And then somebody introduced, I think Damien was getting his plans from Tonka. I can't recall, what's his real name?
Oh, Ruben
Simanu.
Yeah, so
massive dude, man.
Yeah, so Ruben was training Damien, and he had versions of the SHACO program that he developed as well. But I don't know who it was, but somebody introduced us to equipped lifting, and so someone brought up a bench shirt. So there were a couple of F6s and maybe some Furies lying around the gym at the time, and everybody gave them a go. But for some reason, when I gave it a go, it just sort of came quite naturally. I think they're built for a certain, short arms, stocky. You've got to have the right build for equipped lifting, I feel. So I just took to it quite well, and it wasn't too long before I could add 50, 60 and upwards of 100 kilos onto my bench. So the stronger I got in benching, the better the equipped benching got as well. So within within probably 6 to 8 months, the equipped benching was getting well over 200. So Damo entered us, a group of us, into the IPF comps at the time. I can't remember, Auckland Regionals, North Island Regionals, North Island or something like that, and then it was the Nationals. And I sort of came. My totals haven't been as impressive, you guys. I think the best I've ever got is about 765. But the best bench I got in an equipped shirt at IPF was 252. Yeah, 252.5.
Nice.
And I remember I was going up against, I don't know if you guys remember Jason Gerbich, Cunningham Gerbich, Jason Gerbich. Yeah. Big bug. He was like 6'8", about, he must have weighed like 100 and 180. So it was usually me and him for the win. Sometimes Darren Neves as well, be in there as well. If he was.
He's still lifting. I saw he did NZPF Nationals this week.
Darren, is he still competing?
Yeah, man, he's still competing. He's in the Masters. I think he's still totaled around 700.
Nice, still going. Awesome.
Raw, yep.
Raw, yep.
Yep.
So,
I think so.
Yeah, it was often the three of us at the very end there doing the equipped. But that was back in the day where equipped was mixed in with raw.
Yeah, man. It only split off in I think 2013 was when it
split. Is that right? Yeah. I mean, it seems a bit ridiculous, really, to have someone in equipped and raw competing together. Because obviously, I was looking at my results today because I'd forgotten what some of them were, and I came away with the win more often than not with that equipped bench, and then. I'll probably put a suit on for squat. I wouldn't do anything for deadlift, and so just. But
it was a specialist, it was a specialist sport. It wasn't. So
if
you went to go play tennis and you brought out a bloody, table tennis bat, well, that's on you. If you've got the opportunity to use gear, don't claim an asterisk because I'm doubtless deadlifting.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. That was just what powerlifting was. It was just equipped. It was who could lift the most. There was no.
Yeah.
But yet they didn't get multiply in.
Yeah, it was single ply only. Multiply was. That was when the WPO was still big.
Anyone actually ever go and multiply?
I have. I had to go on that overkill. That it was a double ply squat suit.
Oh yes.
Earlier this year. Yeah.
Oh, you did overkill.
Yeah,
that was my
overkill.
first.
That
was my first bench shirt. Was an overkill by Rudy Rosales, eh?
Yep.
Yeah. I sold it to Dan Ridolph.
Yeah. So my limited experience in equipped, multiply is actually more comfortable than single ply.
Fuck yeah! I've used some of Dan's. I'm not sure what brand they were. Those bright orange canvas briefs. And at the time, I think
that's Inza, aren't they? That's Inza, I'm pretty sure.
Could be.
Bright
because I had a single ply squat suit.
Yeah.
Whatever
the Centurion, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was
I think you've still got it.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was an absolute pain in the ass to get into. But these canvas briefs just pulled on like I was putting on a pair of underwear.
Yeah, right.
Underwear.
Yeah.
And straight off the bat, I was squatting. I think I did 300 for 5, like it was nothing. That was way over what I was doing raw.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with multiply, I mean, we'll have to get, say, like Shero or someone on to actually go through it. But I think the biggest thing with single ply is that it's, obviously since it's single, it's quite bitey, if you know what I mean. It's quite painful.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Whereas multiply, it's more supportive, so you get more out of it, but it's just more pressure, which if you can handle the pressure, you can, it doesn't get the little creases in it like single ply does that hurt.
Yeah, pinch. Yeah.
It doesn't.
I would come away from comps in equipped comps with
bleeding triceps and massive
welts.
Yeah.
I remember one time I did a squat and I don't know for what I thought maybe it was a bench because I paused in the hole. And by the time I come back up, both my eyes, every capillary had burst, and so that was just bright red, 2 eyes. So I had that for 2 weeks.
Got one of those coming.
Have you?
Yeah, that was from last
Jackson
week.
nose pops on his warm-up squats.
Dude, my nose is it's a bitch, man. It's such a pussy.
You've not got it sorted yet, eh? You're not going to do cauterization or something like that?
Mate, honestly, I've had it since I was 3. Like, I just got bleeding nose as a kid. I've had it cauterized about 4 times when I was younger.
Have you? Yeah.
And just no avail. I'll just get them when it's too hot. I got them the other day because I was wearing a hoodie in the sun.
Jesus.
It just gets too hot. And then, but my blood pressure's on the low side. I think last time I got it checked, it was 115/70.
Jesus. I don't believe that for a second, but anyway. Yeah. So, Greg, so I'm just going. Okay, so I checked in. I'm not going to go into mine, but it's a lot higher than that. And we're about the same weight, so.
Mate, I've got if my blood pressure had been the same as yours, I would not have got a medical for ATC.
Yeah.
She was amazed. I rocked in. My BMI's 39 or some rubbish, and then she checked my blood pressure.
Obese.
She took it about 4
Obese
times.
builder.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've been class 3 obese for the last 6 years, bro.
I know. I talked to the
7
doctor.
years, something like that. It's phenomenal.
Spoke to my doctor the other day for the first time, new doctor, and I said to her, I told her what my height was and weight, and she said, that's a bit of a concern. That's definitely on the very,
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm just plugging it in. How much are you, Jackson? How high? 180.
How tall? Yeah, 181, I think.
181 and weight 125.
Yeah, somewhere 124, I think. Yeah.
38.2, very unhealthy weight. You're off the scale.
There you go.
So,
off the scale.
See, I think actually when I got my medical was for NZ Open last year, and I weighed in at 132. Put that in. 132, same height.
Well, I'm about 130 at the moment, and I'm
there you go. What's that? That must be over 40.
177, and then 100. I'll just look at 130. Let's see what it says. 41.5, also very unhealthy weight. What would be my healthy weight?
Oh, dude, it'll be like 70.
78.
Yeah, there you go. Got a bit of dieting to do. Got a bit of dieting to do. Nice. But yeah. So, Greg, when are we going to see you back on the platform, mate?
Oh, fuck, I don't know, man. Honestly, I've got a bucket list of things I want to tick off. So I want to get that 300 squat. I want to get that
bench.
Did you not do a GPC meet? Because on Open Powerlifting, I'm only seeing the NZPF. No. I know Carpo has not.
No, shock horror. I've not ever done a GPC event. So it was only a year and a half, I think, or maybe even 2 years of IPF. And then the coach had a bit of a tiff with the IPF. We were fine at the time, but he was not happy. So
what was that, Geordie?
No, that was Damo, and then Carpo was created. So none of my Carpo results are up there. I don't know if they ever.
No, they didn't.
No, they were never transported to Open. So yeah, Carpo for me for it felt like another year or so, and then GPC was 4 days.
So you're a pretend.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So if I recall, didn't we do that? What's that garage barbell?
Oh, we did a garage bar. Yeah,
that's not listed on Open Powerlifting. You need to see those results in.
You need to see those results in, man.
Yeah, that was Ricky Sherrick. Okay, we'll have to have a word to him about that.
Well,
slack paper keeping.
Push pull, mate. First weekend of December. That's
you.
Single ply, multiply.
Yeah. I should get back in the shirt. I should get back in the shirt.
Do it, bro. Have a badge.
The biggest I got in the shirt was a gym lift, and it was 280.
That single ply.
That was in a single ply super cat. Yeah.
I've passed that shirt on to somebody else, but you might be able to use my other one, although it might be big.
I've got that red one. I've still got the super cat.
Have you?
Yeah, man. I've got it down here. I'll bring it up.
I'll be keen to give it a blast.
That's a different one that I bought. I bought a new super katana.
Oh.
Did you? Yeah.
Very nice.
I gave the other one to Wayne Burrows.
I had a custom overkill that I'd got from had made.
Oh yeah.
In the US, but I sold.
I want to get a multiply and get it custom made.
Yeah, it was
the open back ones.
Open back.
Yeah. Be good to give those a blast, eh?
Those.
I'd have to be good for what 80, 100 kilos.
Dude, honestly, ludicrous, absolutely ludicrous.
You'd need to be getting over 300, I think, to really make a dent in the May.
So where's the strain put in the multiply shirts? Is it still the chest or the triceps?
Still the chest plate. I think it's still.
They're designed to protect the shoulder, right? So
yeah. So it's still the chest plate.
What you'll find is you're gonna if you bring it down and about 3-4 inches off your chest, it's just gonna come to a complete standstill.
Yeah, you got to pull it. You actually have to row it in.
Yeah, so
it's ludicrous, isn't it?
It's so mad.
It weighs 300 kilos. You'd think it would just do it, gravity.
Yeah,
man.
So thank God we can lift our head off the benches because obviously you almost curl into a sleep.
You kind of have to push your body into it.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, like you see some of those multiply benches, and those dudes are just.
Aren't they doing like? Is there some guys doing 500 kilos or something?
Dude, there's guys doing 500. Yeah, 1,200 pounds. There's a guy. I think he's on Instagram, Kolb Strong. I'm pretty sure he was doing like 1,200 pounds to like a one board the other day.
I'm just going to bring up what's the most. Just bench and multiply.
It'll be something ludicrous, man. It has. I think it is. It must.
Oh no! It's saying here 488.5. Tiny Mika. Ryan Keneally. He's gone 487.6.
Ryan Keneally. That's an old name now. I thought
that was back in 2008.
What about the Hoff? I thought the Hoff.
The Hoff last year he went 460.
Okay.
Scott Mendelson 467.
No one's gone over 500, surely.
Gene Rylack, that's an old name.
No, the only
458.
500 plus lifts are squatting at the moment. I don't think bench has got that high yet.
Yeah, like these guys in their squats, they must be going
Oh,
well over
okay,
500.
so Ryan Kennelly then, yeah, 488.
That's a lot of weight to be holding above your.
That's ludicrous, man. That's still over 1,000. That's 1,050 pounds. That's fucking.
Yeah,
The biggest squat, Brian Carroll, earlier this year, he went 592.
Yes, boy.
Jesus. Yeah.
Way over, Dave Hoff went 577.
Like, that's just ridiculous. I mean, a lot of people bash multiply and like etc. And I mean, the judging does leave a lot to be desired. But I mean,
You know,
I'm
someone
not gonna put 600.
I think Thomas Liddy said on one of his podcasts once, for people that are not aware of what equipped lifting is, it's like comparing high jump with
pole vault.
With pole vault, and I think that's a really good way of looking at it, because obviously it's
a different sport, man. Different sport.
And one you've got a pole, and one you don't. But either way, you've still got to put the effort in. You know.
Yeah,
so,
man.
Yeah.
But to the untrained eye, to people who aren't, say, us and lift and whatever, it looks the same. They're doing a squat, a bench, and a deadlift, so they expect it to be the same. But it's completely different, man.
So interesting. This guy Brian Carroll, who went 592.5. He benched 118 and deadlifted 120 for an 820 total with a damn near 600 squat.
he just went for the squat.
That's something I'd do. Yeah.
Oh, mate, didn't they take that out of the rules?
Yeah. Well, that was this year. This must be on RPS. So.
All right.
Oh boy, squat's nearly 600 kilos though. That's like, you'd come out of that lift 6 inches shorter, wouldn't you? Surely.
I couldn't do 6 inches short. I'd be.
You'd need a booster seat in the car to drive home.
Already do.
All right, so that's introductions over. I think a lot of people will be wondering, is this a GPC Love Fest? So I think we should probably make it pretty clear that we're going to be about powerlifting across New Zealand, so about all federations.
Yeah, 100%. So there's the NZPF Nationals have been this week.
So they were finished up today,
They just finished up today.
And
some massive lifting, man.
Any big lifts? Yeah. Big
lifting. So I don't know what the final results are, but I think that these people came away with the overall wins. So Tim Monagatti actually made a comeback to the NZPF after doing NZ Open last year. He jumped back in. So
83 kilo class, was it? He
was 80 kilos on the dot. Yeah.
80, yep.
He did 762.5.
Oh, earlier this year he went 800 in the same class.
Yeah, so I don't know if he's done a big weight cut or he just had a bad meet, but I think he pulled the win off Chris Kennedy by about 0.25 of a point, which is, that's...
And it's funny because he attempted something like a stupid number, like I think it was 184.5 or something bench press for the record, but the total that counted towards the points was taken down to the 2.5. And so if they calculated the points...
Oh, no, IPF count those kilos.
Just confirm, because there's a bit of controversy around this. I just need to confirm it.
I saw Chris Kennedy, he went 729 at 73.7. So in the 74 class.
Oh, okay, so they did count it.
Yeah, in IPF...
294.5 was his deadlift that he got.
Who's that?
Chris Kennedy.
No, he got 292.5.
So he pulled 294.5, but he could only claim the 292.5.
Yeah, it's rounded. Yeah.
The problem is, I'm just not knowing 100%, but it sounds like maybe
was there a misload?
He thought he could get a record, and it turned out that he couldn't.
Oh, that it wasn't a record.
Like that, so they could only.
Right. So if it's not a record, those half kilo and kilo increments don't count.
No, it's
in IPF.
2.5.
Yeah, in IPF.
So that 2 kilos would have made the difference. He would have actually.
Yeah. Yep. 100%.
Bit of controversy there, guys. So interesting to see what comes out of that.
You'd be pissed.
Yeah. Oh no, he's a good dude. I mean, we should probably quickly talk about Chris. He's someone that has sort of come onto the scene with made quite an impact.
He sort of came on the scene this last year or so, hasn't he?
So
he came over from bodybuilding.
Well, actually, so the story behind Chris, if you don't know, Greg, Chris actually was a skateboarder back in his teenage years. Started growing some weed at school, and got found out by the teachers, so got kicked out, expelled from school in this hostel we were staying, and got into bad stuff, started smoking meth and dabbling with some pretty bad people. And he was just on a trail of destruction, and he thought the best place for him would be prison. So he went to a local dairy and did an aggravated burglary, and actually rang up the police and dobbed himself in, simply because he felt the prison would be the best thing to try and get him clean. He knew that otherwise he'd end up just absolutely ruining his life and people that he loved. It's quite an admirable thing to do. So he went into jail, spent 3 years, 1 month in jail, was introduced to the gym at that point by the Munkle mob. So he started bench pressing with them, and obviously took quite a liking to it, came out from prison, and decided he needed to have a focus in life. So he went to university and got his master's in sports science. He's a double degree major, and started powerlifting as well, and burst onto the scene, I think it was a couple of years ago. He's in the under 74s. He lifted something like 570, 600, and then just kept going and going up to the point where he actually, earlier this year, he went 755 at 74, which is actually only a couple of ticks under Brett Gibbs. He's rated the second best in terms of points in New Zealand history for a New Zealand lifter.
Wow.
Crazy,
so it's an amazing story how he's managed to turn his life around in the past 8 years. I'd really take my hat off to the guy. I respect that he has made his life so positive. And then to, even in his post today on Instagram, he hasn't made a piss in a moment. He's taken it on the chin, even though he could have won if he'd been a bit wiser. But I really
saw
like
he
to
missed
hear
a
about
couple
it
of lifts
more.
as well. He missed a couple of squats and stuff. So
these lifts that he was getting in the gym. So he was missing second attempts and things. So obviously he probably had to cut some weight. Or apparently you were saying he was quite sick on the day.
Yeah, I don't know. One of the guys just said that he looked quite tired. He was yawning in between attempts and just super tired. And so it'd be interesting. We should we'll get him on, have a yarn.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
That's a cool story, man. This is the thing with powerlifting. It's full of interesting individuals, man. There's always
everyone's journey
everyone's
to
got a story.
powerlifting stuff. Yeah, everyone's journey is different, isn't it?
Well, they say it takes a certain amount of crazy to do what we do. So,
It does. We're all kind of crazy to be able to go back and do it again.
Yeah.
I mean, would you really want to pick up 300 and 400 kilos? You know, you must be a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
Yes.
But no, but why? I've had the question, but why? Why do you want to do that? And I'm like, because why not?
Why not? Yeah, I can. Why not?
Because that guy did 5 kilos more than me, so I want to go more than him.
Because Hamish has squatted that, so I can squat it too.
So it's interesting that your selection for squats is the same as my PB, not over.
Right. I'm going to do it in a 3 lift so it counts.
Okay.
Well,
All right, so folks, that's probably going to be the mainstay of our podcast. Is going to be these two having a yarn at each other, So good times.
We've tried to keep it non-aggressive, so
not aggressive as we can.
So far, so good. So we'll cover. We're going to get guests on, right, guys? We'll get some guests across the spectrum.
Yeah.
Both names from both here in New Zealand and also Australia as well. Maybe even the UK.
I was going to say, I've had a yarn to a couple of people in the UK, so we'll be able to get them.
Yeah. So
come on, have a yarn.
Guests, news and reviews, shit talking and banter. Anything else we want to cover? Maybe we'll cover some technical stuff too. We'll get some people to talk about different aspects of powerlifting and
there's lots of topics there we could cover off from programming, nutrition,
it's endless,
peaking, that kind of thing. So I mean, the proof will be in the pudding to see if Jackson actually manages to achieve any of those 4 goals. Those protocols are worth listening to.
All 4, bro.
We'll see.
All 4 are coming.
Yeah.
Well, let's see it first.
Yeah.
Hamish is a glass half empty, not a glass half full.
Yeah.
Obviously.
I'm just realistic.
Oh, Jackson does talk a big game though, so
he does. I mean, how many times have you said you're going to pull 400?
Yeah.
Once.
Well, anyway.
I don't know.
Well, hey, actually, I only said it once, and that was last year for that strongman comp, and I tried 401.
So you would have had a 400. So.
I would have had 400 though.
Like
obviously,
1 kilo.
You know, it was a near miss, bro. Near miss. So I would have had 400.
Did you even get off the ground, or?
I did actually. Thank you very much.
Got to his knees.
I did. Yeah.
We'll see. Well, let's see you back it up in a couple of weeks. So I'll be judging that lift, so I'll be the first person to congratulate you and shake your hand if you lock your knees out. So,
mate, they'll be locked. I'll be watching. Don't worry. Leave no question.
Not hard to tell with those legs.
I'm going to steer Hamish down while I'm holding it.
Yeah.
Make sure he gives me a white.
I'm going to give you a red for moving your neck. Is that in the rule book? Can I put that in there?
You know what you do. You're just going to turn his neck, and then he's going to one of his knees is going to get unlocked.
Red for bad sportsmanship.
Yeah.
Bad sportsmanship.
Yeah, you'll be like, fuck you.
That's it.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, I will control that down.
Yeah, man, controlled descent.
Just throw it down like you did in 2015.
Yeah, I'll get it red this time. Yeah.
We don't want to hear that bar make a sound, mate.
I'm pretty sure actually both of you will be reffing that.
We are.
Oof.
Are you reffing?
Yeah. Tough crowd.
I'll be reffing.
It's going to be the A team. It's you two and Jono, man, on that Sunday. It's
tough.
That's a tough crowd, dude. Like,
I mean, I'm pretty reasonable, but Jono.
Well, as long as Hamish doesn't do you as not head reffing the bench, you should be.
Why don't you like my? I like people to actually fucking pause. All right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Hamish, there's no pause in the rule book, dude. Motionless.
Motionless. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Wrong terminology.
Motionless. Yeah.
Anyway.
Right, boys. Should we wrap it up at this? It's been a couple of hours. Yep. I think.
Yeah, it's
a lot of editing to get through. So, yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Edit out half of mine, Greg.
Most of the Jackson stuff, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say cut out that whole middle, but it's not that interesting.
No, it's been good chatting to you guys, and I look forward to doing it again. So, our next episode, we're going to have a guest speaker on. Can we make that announcement now, Jackson?
Yeah. So, Amy Christensen, she's president of the CPA down here. They've just run obviously the NZPF Nationals for 2020. So we'll get her on next week. Bit of a debrief from their nationals. She's been a big part of the growth of the female lifting as well, which has been massive in the last few years. So we'll get her opinion on that. She coaches people as well, so it'll be good to get her opinions on,
nice.
Pretty much anything. The explosion of powerlifting in New Zealand and.
Excellent. We'll get this episode out and then we'll get Amy on, and that'll be the next 2 or 3 weeks. So, yeah, look forward to it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, Greg.
All right.
No,
All right,
shot
guys.
team. Nice
See you
work.
guys.